What's up, guys? Welcome to the On the Screws Golf YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, I'd like to invite you below, subscribe so you can be notified anytime we release a new podcast, which is every Friday about 5 p.m. Eastern Time, or any of the products that we might feature for a review on the page. If you're not already, please head over to our Instagram account at OTS Golf. Give us a follow there. We connect with a lot of really cool people in the golf community. And if you like the video, please head below, hit that like button, and let me know in the comments section about anything that you might like to see featured on this page. But alright, let's get into the video. Okay, I am here with Anthony Spagnoli. Welcome to On the Screws podcast, Anthony. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Mac. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on. We connected a couple weeks ago. So any of our listeners, Anthony and I, we connected a couple weeks ago. I saw a post of this gentleman who has played all of the top 100 courses in Canada from 2018, 2020 on the Score Golf rankings. And I thought, who better to have on the pod to kind of tell us about that? So, Anthony, maybe I can pass it over to you. You can tell any of our listeners a little bit about yourself. I know you have a really incredible story. We can hop into some of the courses, a little bit of that. But yeah, why don't you take it over?
Sure. Yeah, Mac. I'm Anthony. I live just north of Toronto, and to say that I'm a golf nut is an understatement. I've been just blessed and pretty fortunate to complete the Score Golf Top 100. It was quite a journey. 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with severe PTSD. I've been a firefighter, a full-time firefighter in Vaughan for 26 years now. So anyhow, it was just, a really tough time, but I had golf to get me through it. Jason Logan, our editor from Score Golf, wrote an article in terms of my story and PTSD and how golf, really helped me get through it. It's a great read, and I think it helped a lot of people.
Well, thanks for, first of all, thanks for sharing that, Anthony. I will, I was lucky enough to read it. I'm going to drop a link in our bio. So anybody, or if you're watching this over on YouTube or listening to it in the car, when you stop, I'll put a link below. You can just simply go click it, read the story. It's amazing. And you and I, Anthony, we're having this chat on September 22nd. So as a firefighter, I want to thank you for your service. September 11th was one of the biggest days in history for your brothers and whatnot. I know we're up here in Toronto, but so many of your colleagues, I'm sure, made their way down, and so thank you so much for your service. And I'm glad that you found golf to kind of find some solace in. So it could be on a lighter side, golf could create more. I guess like mental strain on some people, but I'm definitely somebody who loves just playing the game. Doesn't matter what the score is, doesn't matter who I play with. I can play with anybody, have a great time. And you were able to kind of turn that into, I don't know what the best way to describe it is, but almost into this like massive feat of playing the top 100 courses in Canada. Now, on the 2018 and 2020 list, how many overlapped? How many total courses did you play on, I guess, to make up that top 100?
So on the 18 list, I believe there was 5 or 6 golf courses that did not make it to the 2020 list. So
Okay.
those were the courses. But in saying that, some of them are just around the corner. So
Yeah.
a lot of times people might think, oh, well, it's only 5 courses. But when you're looking at, the entire country, it could be in Vancouver, it could be in the East Coast, it could be anywhere. So, still tricky to get both lists completed.
And you're a member over at TPC?
I am. I'm a weekday member at TPC, so that's my home base. And, it's a great spot to play 3 top 100 courses, and obviously have great privilege in, playing across the country as a panelist.
Now, do you have a favorite of those 3? I was lucky enough. I was when we were chatting the other day, I mentioned I carried a bag on the weekend at the on the Heathlands course for the PGA Tour Canada, and I hadn't played there yet, and it was amazing. I thought the course was incredible. So you and I got to set up around, get out and play. But do you have a favorite of the 3?
Oh, we absolutely have to play. It's the Hoot. I find the most fun to play. They're all 3 great. The Hoot's the most fun, but I find the Heathlands is where you have to hit the most amount of golf shots. So
Right.
for me, it's kind of either one is kind of my favorite there.
And of course, when we were at the Heathlands, Like I'm looking at a cement floor over on the side right now that I have my putting mat on and whatnot, and it was like glass. Those greens were absolute glass when we were there. So I'm sure leading up to it, trying to play on those or right after, it was not a whole lot of fun because those guys are. We were kind of chatting about the different level. Like we're both, lower handicaps, but those guys are. I couldn't believe some of the shots that they could make. So at Heathlands, it was pretty crazy to see them go that low. Anthony, what comes to mind is when was like the thought process to get you to or want to play the top 100, or what was it where you kind of, I guess, framed or formed that idea to try and accomplish this huge feat?
Well, when I got on the panel, thanks to my pal Johnny Johnny Wilczynski, who was a current panelist, and we met one day at the pulpit and kind of became instant best friends. And once I got on the panel, it just seemed like a really neat goal to say, you know what, I just want to cross them off as I play them, and let's see how far I can get. At that point, it was only Robert Thompson that had completed a top 100, and my pal in Edmonton, Luke, who was close and has accomplished that as well. So I thought, man, I want to do it too. So I just kind of started little by little, and here we are.
And so you had taken a little bit of time off work and I guess to be able to create some of that. And I know that we had talked a little bit about some of the travel that went into kind of me. Like, it's hard for me to fathom playing not just the top 100, but we're the second biggest country in the world, right? So it's or at least I think that's still accurate, but the span that you have to travel. I'm thinking of some of the guys I follow. Michael Can, so he plays on the PGA Tour Canada, and he's been vlogging for about 50 days, going from all the way out in PEI. They played Dunderave and are making their way all the way out to I think they have a BC stop this weekend coming, and the amount of kilometers traveled. So what was that like for how was that to plan that kind of thing for yourself? Like you have a family as well, and trying to kind of map all that out. What are some of the struggles or even some of the highlights that you've had?
Sure. So, first of all, I have a very accommodating and loving wife that
Of course.
is allowing me to be away from her and the kids and stuff. I was off work for a period of time, doing intense therapy, which I'm still doing, but I am back at work now. But it's unreal the amount of planning involved in one of these trips. So first and foremost, reaching out to the golf courses that you're looking at playing. So let's say, we're flying out west, you try to have a plan of, maybe 8 or 10 courses that you want to hit. Obviously, you have to reach out to the courses to see what days work best for them. And then from there, your travel plans. When I flew out to Edmonton, I remember flying out there the next morning, playing Royal Mayfair, Blackhawk in the afternoon. Then the next morning, driving 4 hours to Jasper, looping around there twice. Next morning, head over to Banff, played Banff, then drove down to play both Wolf Creek, then kept driving down, played Stewart Creek, across to Calgary Golf and Country Club for the afternoon, and then back to Edmonton for Northern Bear, Royal Mayfair, and then, a red eye home. So that kind of, gives you an indication of not only how tough it is to plan it, but it's a lot of golf and driving and flying in between.
I know anybody watching on YouTube right now is seeing me try to count these rounds up on my hands, and I got shoes on down here, but yeah, we got into somewhere probably in at least 140 golf holes in those what that was inside a week, I guess. So good for you to be able to do that, because that is absolutely incredible. And I guess a lot of like your conditioning as being a firefighter would help you kind of be able to play those. I know, like when I play a few rounds of golf, I'm starting to, I'm not that old and I'm already starting to feel it, right? So
yeah, for sure. For sure, it hurts, and even sometimes you're at the mercy of hoping things work well travel-wise. I mean, I was just out east flew into Charlottetown. Now with COVID, everybody gets rapid tested there. So you're hoping, you're not
Right.
asymptomatic, and, played Crowbush, Dunderave, Green Gables, 3 rounds at Cabot, and then overnight ferry to Newfoundland. But with Hurricane Larry, the ferry kept getting canceled. So luckily it didn't the night we were going across, and then played Humber Valley. So a lot of planes, trains, and automobiles for sure.
And in Humber Valley, I think that's where you capped it off. That was your post that you had made on Instagram, right?
That is correct.
Right. That was pretty cool, and must have definitely been a pretty emotional time. Do you remember where Humber Valley's ranked? I haven't been out to Newfoundland before. I've been down as far as I've been to Meat Cove, so I've been as far east as we can go on the mainland here, but I haven't been over to Newfoundland yet. Was Humber Valley? It was up there.
Correct. I think it currently sits low 20s or high teens. I'd
Wow.
have to double check, but yeah, it's always a staple on the top 100 for the last bunch of years, and it was incredible to end it there. For sure.
Nice. I know I've got a follower on Instagram. I follow him as well. I think his name's Fairway to Golf. He's from Newfoundland, and we've chatted a lot about some of the courses out there on the Rock and just how beautiful they are. And I noticed that he had posted he had played Humber Valley. So before we go any further, I got to thank your wife, because without her, we wouldn't be having this conversation. My wife is a golfer as well. And we just gave birth to she just gave birth to a newborn. So we had him out at the range the other day. So he's not even a couple weeks old. He's already had his first range experience. So very, very integral part going into you being able to play all these and ultimately share this story with us and with everybody else. So can I ask you a bit now? You're on the panel for Score Golf. What some of the criteria would be for these courses to rank where they do? And is it different if it's a public course as far as, because there's the top 59 public list and then there's the top 100 in Canada. Is there any difference between the two?
No, the rating's the same. The criteria is beauty, strategy, design, challenge, par 3s, par 4s, par 5s, and fun and condition.
Okay.
So we use that criteria for all golf courses that we rank. Whether it's, public or private, the criteria is the same.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit, because I mentioned that one of my favorite courses, and I've mentioned it in the pod in the past, is Blackbear Ridge. So I'm lucky that it's only about 45 minutes east of me, and it's perennial one of the top condition courses in Canada. And I find I really, really enjoy the better condition courses. Is there any that sort of stick out a little bit, or is it different because you played so many that are, more Parkland style, and then there's more kind of link style? Is it hard to differentiate the two?
You're saying in terms of condition? Or
Yeah. Like I'm always really fascinated by really good condition courses. So I guess I'm sort of asking you if you've got any that stick out in your mind, and do you find them to be more maybe Parkland style or more link style that are typically in better condition?
Honestly, it's a mix. It really is. I mean, condition wise, goodness, pretty much most of the top 100.
I guess so.
Are incredible. When you get into the National Golf Club of Canada, St. George's, Coppenwood, the Pulpit, or even Cabot. I could rhyme off, the whole list really. Condition is usually really, really good.
Right. I've
Both.
I've seen a couple photos. I've got a friend who used to work at Goodwood, and I've seen a couple very few and far between exclusive photos of that club. So that is kind of one that I've seen very few photos, but as soon as I see it, I understand why it's on that list. It looks absolutely immaculate. I wanted to ask you, so through this whole journey, how long have you been going at this now, Anthony?
So, I began, I guess, 2016, where I kind of started, trying to play as many as I could. COVID, obviously, the last couple of years
Right.
have been a bit weird with COVID. So our trip, kind of was supposed to end last June, but got postponed 3 times. So we finally got it done. But it's been a 6-year journey to complete the top 100. And, the last kind of 4 after the diagnosis were, was pretty cool to have that something to focus on and, kind of get my mind off of, maybe negative things.
Well, golf is so great for that. Like I know I make light of it saying, golf can be such a challenging sport. It can be so difficult and so tricky, but there's been so many times where like I remember even with a good friend of mine, Chef, he's been on the podcast in the past. I call him Chef. His name's Mike McKay. If you're ever out in this area in Clarington, he owns the top restaurant in the area named 36 Kitchen and Lounge. He's sponsored a giveaway before with us. Really great guy, incredible golfer. And right before the baby was born, we're waiting, so we're kind of just waiting. I'm sitting around. We got a little 9-hole track just next door, so we went out and walked it, and that was kind of what he said. He said, "Who cares what you shoot?" I think I shot okay. I think I shot in the 38, 39 range, which is pretty typical there. But he said, "We're just out playing golf, and it's just kind of like to take your mind off of it. It's just one of those things where, there can be so much enjoyment. You can meet so many new people, and I remember." Telling a story about this. I played a round of golf this year with a younger guy. He was 16 years old. It was actually around his birthday. He was with his grandpa, and it was his first round of golf he's ever played. I think I shot on our 9-hole course. I think I shot 1 under. It might have been my best round of the year on 9 anyway. And keep in mind, I play this course a lot, so I kind of know where I'm going whenever or if I miss hit any, I kind of know how to regroup. But he probably shot, I don't know, like 130, but he had a great time. And it was really cool to kind of meet him, play his first ever round with him. And it's just kind of nice that you can, like you mentioned, thank you for sharing, but I guess just find like a release in golf or, a bit of therapy in it as well. Okay, Anthony, so you've played the top 100 courses in Canada on the 2018, 2020 list. Would you mind sharing a couple highlights? Like I know there might be a ton, but would you mind sharing maybe 1 or 2 highlights, favorite times over those over the journey?
Oh my goodness, that is such a difficult question.
For sure.
I've had so many great memories across the country, with John, who I've traveled most of the trips with, and, my friends and fellow panelists, people I've met that I've played, different courses with and special clubhouses. But, if I had to say, the most special memory would, be playing Humber Valley just last week, finishing the list on that golf course. It's so far away. I knew, I'd one day be there, but to drain that final putt on top of that, being able to share it with John, his wife Janet was there, and the owner of Humber Valley. We had a few drinks to celebrate, and it's a special moment I'll never forget.
I love it. Anybody watching over on YouTube right now, I'm gonna drop a video of the putt right here because it looked like it was a good 15-20 footer, I think, right?
Yeah, I have no clue. I knew it was a lot longer than what I wanted.
Yeah.
Just kind of cool that it went in.
Yeah, that was it was a nice putt. So you're going to see it right here. All right, and not during the journey of playing the score top 100, but you've met the king before, Anthony. Can you share the story about meeting Arnold Palmer?
Oh man, that was such an incredible day for me. A good friend of mine, Reggie Millage, who's the provincial coach for Team Ontario, has a great buddy who's a member at Bay Hill. Hooked me up, met him down there. I got to the parking lot. It was still dark because I just, didn't want to, miss the day.
Of course.
And you always hear about, Mr. Palmer floating around, and they know where he is every second of the day. But it was a weekend, and, we didn't quite know. So long story short, we played the whole round. We were in the locker room having a few drinks, and, I said to Eric, well, I guess it's just not meant to be. So I'm on my way to the parking lot, and I see a power car parked on the grass in front of the pro shop, and I look, the bag says Arnold Palmer. I just kind of, peeked my head, and as I did that, he did as well. And we kind of looked at each other, and I stepped back, and I'm like, oh my God, that's Arnold Palmer. And, I kind of did it again. And I'm like, well, I better go say hello because he probably won't come say hi to me. So I went up to him and I was, you know what? I couldn't even speak. I was just so in awe of meeting the king and being able to take a couple pictures with him. And his daughter was taking the picture and she cared so much, wanted to make sure, the lighting was perfect. And man, oh man, that was just surreal for me.
Yeah, I have not been lucky enough to, or I was not lucky enough to meet him. But some of the past guests that have kind of had the same comments and just how much he cared, would take all the time that he needed out of his day, which I'm sure we're very busy all the time to kind of connect and make you feel important, right? So, what a great story. It would be like, I was thinking when we were chatting a little bit earlier, I was thinking, you go all day and you think, oh, I'm leaving the course, I'm not going to do it. And then he's sitting there in the golf cart. Pretty amazing. That's a great story. And you were lucky enough to get that photo you mentioned. So again, over on YouTube, I'll drop a photo so anybody can have a look at it, because what a memory. Pretty amazing, Anthony.
Yeah, sure was.
If you were, to go out and play any course, could be in Canada, anywhere else, whatever it may be, and you got to pick your dream foursome, Anthony, what would that dream foursome be?
It'd be Tiger, Phil, and Arnold Palmer.
I love it. I love it. So
it's all about golf, and man, that would be absolutely incredible.
It would be hard for me not to pick those three. I would love to play around with John Daly. Like I grew up in the kind of the John Daly, like he was very polarizing, in that era. I believe, and well, Tiger Woods has said it, John Daly is the most talented golfer of all time, not necessarily always applying those talents, but to be able to do what he does with the limited amount of practice and work that goes into his game is pretty incredible. I've got a pair of signed shoes. You can't see them over here, but I've got a pair of these from John Daly, which is pretty cool. So I would love to fit him in somewhere. I think I would maybe fit him in, and then I would just caddy. It would be pretty cool. But those three, I would love to get out and golf with them. I know in the past, I've had Jeff Tate. He's the CEO of and owner of Triple Bogey Brewing. So he's mentioned that he had a personal relationship with Arnold Palmer. They carried the line. He used to be involved with a company named Quagmire Golf back in the early 2000s, and then they carried the Arnold Palmer Canadian line. So what we do here, Anthony, is called the Swing Oil segment, hydrated by Triple Bogey Brewing. So I just fire a couple questions to you. Layups, really just want to learn a little bit about yourself, about the golf, and 6 years of playing every course in the top 100 in Canada. Want to try and find out a little bit about it. So in that journey, have you ever had a hole-in-one?
Not in that journey, but I did have a hole-in-one with my buddy Brendan playing Bondhead North, just But yeah, so I guess it is through the journey because it was 3 years ago. So
hey, it is the golf journey. I have had one this year. I have had some. I don't want to use the word scares, but I almost got one actually at Dundas, number 5, 345-yard par 4, and I hit it to about 1.5 feet. So anybody who likes talking golf with me, I feel like I have to tell that story. But I've got a couple on some par 3s and whatnot at my home course. I've got 2 within a couple inches, but I've been hunting it ever since I was 13. So kind of one of the first years of serious golf for me. Got a hole-in-one, thought the game was easy, and been chasing it ever since.
hard to do.
It's not easy. I've hit the pin last year. That rolled off to like 6 feet, but haven't dropped one yet. So still hoping to do so. Favorite snack at the turn?
The sausage on a bun at Copper Creek.
Okay, I was going to actually ask you what course it was at too, because you have such an extensive list. So a friend of mine, Sam McKee's, played Copper Creek, said it was absolutely beautiful. I have not been out that way yet, but I definitely will have to be in. Maybe if you remember your lowest round over this past journey on one of these courses in the top 100, do you remember kind of a highlight round where it kind of was all going together for you?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. When I'm out ranking and stuff like that, like I'm so focused on the criteria,
right,
taking taking notes, that sometimes the score is really secondary, trying to do my thing. But oh man, I honestly, I know I was a few under, I think, at St. Thomas, but
Wow, good for you.
I can't think of.
Hey, that's a nice score. That's a nice score. I like that. Favorite tee shot in Canada?
Well, favorite tee shot, it's got to be for me the number one at the pulpit. I just think no matter how many times I play that golf course, you step onto the first tee, and I think I take the same pictures every single time I get there. So it's a neat tee shot. Probably my favorite for sure.
Anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm going to go over to your Instagram, Anthony. I'm going to grab a photo. I'm going to drop it right here. So if you're not watching this over on YouTube, go do so. I'm gonna grab a couple more to put on here too, because you've got some amazing shots on your Instagram page. So anybody who is not, definitely go over and check it out as well. Favorite golf beer?
Oh, triple bogey for sure.
Love it.
The only time I want a triple bogey is if I'm drinking beer, not on the scorecard. You and me both.
Thank you, Anthony. That is the triple bogey swing oil segment, hydrated by Triple Bogey Brewing. So, this is Anthony Spagnoli. You've played the top 100 courses in Canada over the past 6 years. What a journey. I'm just so happy that you said you'd come on the pod and kind of chat about it. I'm really happy to be able to share it with everybody. You've got a really incredible story. So again, I'm going to link it below. Anybody who wants to learn about your journey, Anthony, where can they get a hold of you? I know right away you kind of messaged me back, and we got chatting golf. We got on a call the other day for about an hour chatting golf. Really easy too. We got to get out and play. But if anybody's looking to get a hold of you, wants to hear about any courses or planning any trips, could use any ideas, where's the best place to reach you?
Absolutely. Send me a DM on Instagram. It's obviously my name, Anthony Spagnoli, but I'm always happy to chat with anyone about golf trips, where to go, where to stay, and even just learning more about how we rank and rate. It's not just the top 100. We visit so many other golf courses that have potential, or you've heard of, that are good, whether they're public, private. We really try to, see as much as we can. So yeah, send me a DM. I'm more than happy to talk golf anytime.
Right. And I know when we were chatting, I kind of pumped the tires of Port Hope Golf Club. So they're out here, one of the oldest clubs in Canada, and right on the water too, which is great. So it was kind of nice to sort of chat and get an idea of the criteria and how you kind of go about that. It was really cool. Anthony, anybody also who's looking to get you on Instagram, I will link it below, so you can just go right down below you here. It's going to say Anthony Spagnoli Instagram. You can just click that. It's going to take you to one of the best golf pages you're going to see. Photos all over the country. Absolutely incredible. You got to go check it out. And as usual, thanks for following OTS Golf on Instagram and over here on YouTube at On the Screws Podcast. Thanks a lot, Anthony. Really appreciate you coming on. Can't wait to play around with you. I think it's going to be a great time.
Thanks, Mac. I appreciate it and look forward to it.
Is out in my ball in the course where I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross working.